everyone, welcome to another Finally Friday video. So I'm going to go ahead and just get started here. I have some Baja cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I'm going to fold it to a standard size card. So it is 5.5 by 4 1/4. I'm going to show you how you can create a scallop edge and have it match up on both sides of the card. Because when you're using a scallop edge punch, sometimes it's hard to have everything match up and have it look right. So I'm going to show you on this Fiskars Scallop Sentiment Punch. I'm going to open up the card. I'm going to go ahead and place it in here. And notice that there are these grid marks on the punch. And we're going to use, there's this one grid mark right above this first little bump right here. And I'm just going to line it up with that right there, right on the line. And I'm going to get my first punch. I'm going to go ahead and continue punching. Okay, so there's the first side here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it like this. I'm going to flip it straight over open like that. And I'm going to start again. And I'm going to line it up on that line right above that little bump. And I'll make my first punch. Okay, so we've got the scallop edge on both ends, and now I can just go like that, and it's perfect. You notice it's lined up perfectly on both sides. So that's the way you can make sure that you have the same scallop edge on the front and back of your card. So now I have some scratch cardstock here, and I'm going to use removable adhesive, and I'm just going to put it on the front of the card, about right there. And now I'm going to open the card, and what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make an embossed square for the front of the card. So I have this stylus tool, it's an embossing tool. You could also use a bone folder or like a ballpoint pen that doesn't have any ink in it left, like it's run out. You could use that too, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of really feel for where that cardstock is underneath. And I'm going to try to find the edge here. There we go, I just found it. And then once you find the edge, it's super easy to go around and really press into the cardstock. And hopefully you'll be able to see this on camera. If not, I'll move it in a minute here. Okay, and the longer the time you spend on this, really pressing down that edge, the better impression you'll have on the other side of the cardstock, which is the front of your card. Manny, come here. Okay, so I'm just going around this square multiple times. I'm using the larger end of the stylus now to get a really deep and even impression. Manny, what are you doing, honey? Shh, shh. Okay, now I'm going to turn it over. Doesn't look like much right now, but I'm going to peel this off. You can see that deep impression there. Hopefully you can see it anyway. It's kind of really light cardstock. Okay, so I have, that square was 2 by 2, and I have a 1.75 by 1.75 Kraft square right here, and I'm going to adhere that down into the center, and we're going to be embossing this in a minute here, so you want to make sure you get adhesive all the way to the corners, because if it warps the cardstock at all, you want to make sure that it's not going to pull away too much from the card base. Okay, so I've got that in the center of the embossed square. And I'm going to take a couple stamp sets from Humor Arts. The first one is called Blossom Art. And I'm going to take this stamp right up here. Put it on a block. I'm going to use some Baja Breeze ink, and it's the same color as the cardstock. So if you use like a green or something, just use a green ink. I can ink up my stamp. All right, and I'm just going to stamp this flower up here in the corner. Because it has to go down to that impressed area, I'm really going to push on the stamp, make sure it's a really good impression. Just like that. It's got a little spot here that didn't quite transfer, but I'm okay with that. All right, I'm going to take a white gel pen, and I'm going to do really tiny white stitching lines around the outside edge of this Kraft square. And I'm just kind of making layering, like layers of images. Manny. Sorry, my cat's freaking out. We're having a big windstorm. So he kind of freaks out with weather. Okay, so we've done the flower stamp. The other stamp we're going to do is from this set right here. And I'm going to use this, but I only want the thanks. And I picked this one in particular because I liked the size. I liked how small it was. So I'm going to mount it on the block. And we're going to emboss with it, so I'm going to be using VersaMark ink. All right, so I'm going to take my VersaMark pad, and I'm going to really, really carefully only ink the part that says thanks. I'm even going to kind of use my finger and kind of rub the spot around it just to make sure. Okay. I'm going to come over to my card, and I'm going to put the thanks on there. Lovely. Got my white embossing powder. Okay. All right, and the last thing we're going to do to really finish off this card is we're going to put some bands of color down here at the bottom. Okay, so I've got 2 bands from the Modern Homemaker collection, and I'm going to use some, let's see, I probably want to use a glue for this. Let me find my glue here. And I'm going to open up the card, and I'm just going to run a line of glue going all the way down this card front. Okay. And that finishes up the card for this week. The inside, if you don't like showing that area, you can always cover it with some pattern paper or something like that. But I'm just going to leave mine. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.